Hey, people, you know what time it is. Hump Day, you're rocking and rolling with the #1 forum for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, coming to you live from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming you the show on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you go ahead right now, drop that thumbs up, give a like on the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on, hit that little bell so that way you're getting all your news, all your notes, all your insight, your intel, your alerts on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. Got a lot to dive into, unpack, talk about here on the show. Crimson Tide, Miami in the rear view mirror after getting the 44-13 victory to open week 1 of college football. Nick Saban and company have their attention turned to the home opener on Saturday, Bryant-Denny Stadium against Mercer. 3 p.m. Central Time kickoff. Game will be called on SEC Network, and we want you, the Bama Nation, to be a part of the show tonight. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. That is the number to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you guys. Gotta shout out my man John Ivor in the building one time in the production studio doing his thing. You can also check us out on Facebook and Twitter as well. All forms of social media streaming to you the show. Gotta shout out Jimmy, boom, bam, cash money, dropping in the bag, Clay. That $75 donation he has met the Super Chat Go, or has handled the Super Chat Go by himself. So appreciate my man Jimmy Clay helping us out here on the show. But we get into now topic number 1 here of the conversation for your Crimson Tide, and that's, Christopher Allen, who sustained a foot injury against Miami last week, a foot fracture. According to Coach Saban, will miss the remainder of the season. Did have surgery on it, so he's okay. He's recovering. Soon he'll be able to do those rehab things, getting himself back right there, on the field with the coaching staff of Jeremy Giselle, who is the rehabilitation specialist, Jeff Allen, the head athletic trainer, and also Dr. Matt Ray, who is the director of performance science for the Crimson Tide. But with Chris Allen out, the question that U.S. fans have is, who's the next guy up? Who is somebody that we can trust to continue what Allen started? We know how Allen went out there against Miami. He was coming off the edge. He was hitting D'Eriq King. He was making life difficult for that Miami offensive line. At one point, one of the offensive tackles looked and turned to his coach and said, "What do you expect me to do?" I mean, you got Will Anderson coming off one side. You got Chris Allen off the other. D'Eriq King just going to get hit, man. D'Eriq is just going to get hit. Feel bad for him. He's my quarterback, but there's no way on God's earth I'm stopping both Will Anderson and Chris Allen. And Allen was on the verge of having a really big year this season, starting off with the game last week prior to the foot injury there. So the question becomes, who's the next man up? Who is somebody that you can trust in this outside linebacker room that can pick up the slack? Now, fortunately for U.S. Tide fans, this all ties back into something I've always mentioned. Nick Saban recruits nothing but studs at running back, wide receiver, linebacker, and defensive back. 9 times out of 10, at those 4 positions, Saban is going to get a stud or a group of studs. And the first one right now that we bring up is Drew Sanders. Drew Sanders' time is now. At 6'5", 244 pounds, now is his moment. He is the immediate next man up behind Chris Allen. And I've mentioned this before. You never want your opportunity to come at the expense of one of your teammates, one of your guys, one of your brothers, but at the same time, you can never control how your opportunity will come. And this has happened quite the amount of times in the history of Alabama, especially under Coach Saban. You look back at Amari Cooper in 2012. His opportunity came because of an injury to DeAndre White and an injury to Chris Black. You look at Calvin Ridley. His opportunity came due to an injury to Robert Foster. You look at just, other guys that have come through the program that, have had their opportunity come at the expense of one of their teammates, getting hurt. You hate to see that happen, but the beat goes on. The process moves forward, and part of that process is being the next man up. And I remember when Sanders first came into Alabama, 5-star in the 2020 class from Texas, a lot of U.S. fans, he was drawing a lot of the conversation right behind Will Anderson. It was, I can't wait to see Anderson and Sanders on the field together at the same time. Anderson coming off one end, Sanders coming off the other end, and they saying, I play a player, I pimp juice, I'ma see you at the quarterback. Like, fans were waiting for that type of moment. Well, you're going to get what you've been waiting for, because now it is going to be Drew Sanders on one end, Will Anderson off the other end, getting to the quarterback. And Drew had a good game against Miami, came off the bench, had 6 tackles. Coach Saban has confidence in Sanders. Henry To'o spoke to the media on Tuesday, and he spoke about how Drew was always in the weight room. Drew was always in the film room. Drew was always preparing himself. So for all of you people that have been asking, is Drew ready, though? Is he prepared, though? Allen was the starter for a reason, Stephen. Is Drew Sanders ready? Does he got what it takes to pave a toe? Is he set to go? Here's my answer right now. He's set to go. He is prepared for this moment. He's practiced for this moment. He was going to have a role on the team anyway. I mean, back in the spring, Coach Saban was rotating Will Anderson, Sanders, and Chris Allen, all throughout spring and all throughout fall camp. So Drew was going to have a role regardless. It's just now his role has expanded with Allen out. The other guy that Saban highlighted was true freshman Dallas Turner. And the young man from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at 6'4", 245 pounds. Coach Saban mentioned, hey, this guy's got big potential. We're trying to have him get down assignment football, but this guy's got big potential. He's got the size that we like. He's got the tools that we like. He's got the pass rushing technique that we like. We're just continuing to get him developed because he's got to get reps. He's got to get on the field. We got to now get him some opportunities to see what he can do. And Dallas Turner played at 2 of the most powerhouse programs in the state of Florida. I know what you're thinking. IMG, Stephen? No, not IMG. He played at American Heritage High School, coached by Patrick Surtain. He also played at St. Thomas Aquinas High School. Both of those two of the biggest institutions, 2 of the biggest programs in the state of Florida. Last year, in his lone season at St. Thomas Aquinas, he had 36 tackles, including 25 tackles for loss and 13 sacks. So Dallas Turner's got the ability to go out there, get on the field, create pressure, get sacks, stop the quarterback. But it's interesting how Saban is replacing Chris Allen with 2 5-stars at the outside linebacker position. Going to be very, very fun to watch this whole ordeal unfold. So you hate it for Chris Allen. Surgery went well. Best wishes to him and his recovery and rehab process as he starts it soon. But Alabama has its 2 guys, next man up. Drew Sanders, a 5-star. Dallas Turner, another 5-star. Going to be awesome to see what they do this weekend as they'll get some work in against Mercer. But we take a break right now on the show. Don't touch that dial. Just getting started. When we come back, we dive into the phone lines to take your calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your texts, your interactions. Conversation with you, Bama Nation, right after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
I'm Malachi Moore. You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
We are back in here, folks, from the break to the action on a Wednesday, hump day, number one form for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Before we go to the phone lines to take your calls, call statement brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. Guys, shout out my man, Scott Sheridan. Scott Sheridan, that $10 donation helping us out here on the show. Appreciate the love there from my man, Scott Sheridan. But we're taking your calls right now, 205-448-1358. That's the number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Jimmy Clay has come back with that $25 donation, putting more money in the bag. Appreciate the love from Jimmy Clay and Scott Sheridan. We take this call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on? How you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Well, Stephen, I thought I'd get the first call in here. I don't know. I'm from out here. I'm going to say I'm from out here in New Mexico today. I'm out here in New Mexico, in Chama, New Mexico. It's 81 degrees. I never thought my allergies would be ever any better in my life. This air out here is beautiful, Stephen. How's everybody in Tuscaloosa, Alabama today?
Everybody's doing good, Waylon. Coach Saban preparing the guys for Mercer. I'm hearing that he had a little rant in his press conference today. So some reporter must have got the question that got Saban going, because he ranted today.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was fixing to watch that right before y'all came on. I ain't got to see the whole news conference. I've been traveling and then got here and then get to see it all. But I'll get on there. Yeah, it's about time for him to get fired up. So, you know how he is. But anyway, we're going to get out of here as quick as we can. We just want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Everybody's looking good. Well, like I always say, cities, town, countries, and states, TDA appreciates every one of you for calling in, donating, and leaving your messages on the phone. They love you, and I do too. But, you know, we've left John out there a little bit, so we're going to do a little quick poem for John, and we're going to split out of here. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we tune into the show. We listen to John Ivory's beats for 3 to 4 minutes or so. It gets the show rocking. It keeps the people hopping. John, don't you ever stop playing those beats. It keeps the feet tapping and the Blue Ridge Gang happy and rapping. So I'm going to get out of here and enjoy New Mexico for a few days. I don't know if I'll be here Friday or not. Birthday week. So if I'm not here Friday, y'all have a safe weekend. Enjoy the ball game, and I'll see y'all again next week. I love everybody. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate Waylon calling in. Enjoy the birthday week, Waylon, by the way, also. And got to go poem for John Ivory. John, you got love today. Got to show that love for John Ivory. We take our next call here on the show. You're live on In My Own Words on a Wednesday. What's going on? How you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Well, I'm feeling good. This is Scott Sheridan. I am calling from the great state of Texas. But Steve, I love your show. I love the insight that you bring. And just a couple of comments. Number one, you know, Texas had a tough game against Louisiana, but we came in there. Sarkisian did his thing. He is an A-plus play caller. You know, I've been listening to a lot of the other talking heads, and they're already saying Alabama light for Texas. The same kind of thing they're giving to Minnesota as far as Wisconsin light, as they played and evidently got beat. But I tell you, Texas reminds me already a little bit of Alabama, because here's what happened in that game. I don't know if you watched it, but receivers were catching the ball with their hands. And that was it was a refreshing surprise to see guys going down, catching the ball with their hands, even coming back from a little adversity. Now, Texas got a long ways to go. Don't get me wrong. We're not at Alabama's level yet, but I feel like we're going to get there with Sarkisian. Also, Cuban Robinson got in the game. And I'm going to tell you something. This brother is going to be a game changer for us. This guy not only runs with moxie, but he's got a breakaway speed that's just kind of uncanny. I mean, to complement a running back room like we've got rivals what Alabama's always had in a running back room. Next man up performs. Next man up performs. And Texas has got that. And I think that's what Sarkisian's bringing to the table. Did you happen to watch the Texas game?
I did, Scott. I watched a little bit of that. I saw Cuban Robinson on the field. I saw Steve Sarkisian, great play calling by him. And he's going to continue to try to mold Texas into what he wants it to be. For me, as long as he can keep the boosters off his tail, Sark is going to be fine. But appreciate Scott there for that call, my man calling in from Texas. We're going to go to a quick call topic here. And this goes to one Bryce Young. Young right now was the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback of the Week. I mean, talk about a week for Bryce Young. After his performance against Miami, he was the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. He was one of 7 Players of the Week from Alabama's coaching staff. And he was also the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback of the Week. So, Bryce, game 1 out the gate, 27 of 38 passing, 344 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, already showing people that, he is the real deal here for the Crimson Tide in replacing one Mac Jones, who is now in the NFL with the New England Patriots. But we're going to go to a quick break here. Fans, hold on to the break, fans. We'll get you back in the next call segment. Just hold 10 minutes, get you back in the next call segment. But upon our return, we'll actually sit down with Brad Edwards, former ESPN analyst and current author, to talk about what impressed him from the Alabama matchup against Miami. We'll speak with Edwards after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters.
Look at all these great players in Touchdown Alabama magazine. Man, wait till I turn up this year. I'm gonna be on the front cover. But what if Will goes off? Or Joe, DeMarco, Chris, Tim, Christian.
Don't wait. Order now at touchdownalabama.com or call 833-483-2624 today.
Christian.
All right, folks, we're back rocking and rolling in from the break of a #1 ticket for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Wednesday hump day. Before we go to the In My Own Words hotline to pick up Brad Edwards, we got to shout out Jimmy Clay for the barbecue. How about JC? I'm talking Jimmy Clay. That $25 donation helping us out once again. Put some water on Jimmy because the brother is on fire right now, helping us out here on the show. But as I mentioned, we now go to the In My Own Words hotline. We pick up a true heavy hitter, a true professional of the game when it comes down to journalism. And I'm referring to none other than my man, Brad Edwards, former ESPN analyst, now author. He's got the book, Dynasty, the Bama Dynasty. You check it out right now as he goes through it by the numbers. Brad, how you doing? So glad to have you in here, man.
Thank you, Stephen. Great to join you. And man, it's football season again. And the great thing about Alabama, almost always starting with the big game, is that you jump right into it. You don't have these things that feel like preseason matchups. You get something right out of the gate that you can try to draw some conclusions from, and it's fun. Sure, there's a little bit of a letdown in week 2, but not for Nick Saban, right? I mean, I'm assuming, I heard you say earlier that he got a little feisty in his press conference.
Very feisty.
Because someone in the media, it's usually because someone in the media isn't taking the next opponent very seriously. And that happens, but hey, it was good first outing.
Absolutely. So, Brad, as we kind of dive into this first matchup here between Alabama and Miami with week 1 of college football, and it was so good to have fans back in the stands, full capacity crowd, people yelling, screaming, the theatrics of it all. But prior to Bama-Miami, people spoke a lot about Clemson and DJ Uyunglele, and then Georgia with JT Daniels, Oklahoma with Spencer Rattler. But at the end of the day, Nick Saban and Alabama, and this is a Bama team that replaced so much offensive talent to the NFL draft, but Saban just knows how to reload the clip and get right back to business. Offense scored 44 points. Defense stifled Miami, only giving up 13. What did you come away most impressed with from the game?
Yeah, I guess I would probably start with the defense and, the defensive front especially. I think everybody thought it was going to be much improved. Figured that this has a chance to be a really good Alabama defense. But the last couple of years, it's been, by Alabama standards, a little disappointing. And I really like the way that they came out and played because they're going to have to, to be better because the offense, look, as great as they looked, they're not going to be last year's offense. That was arguably the greatest offense in the history of college football. You're not going to see that 2 years in a row. So if they take a little bit of a step back, the defense needs to take a little bit of a step forward in order to make up for it. And I saw every sign that they're capable of doing that. I would say on the other side, I think that the thing that was most satisfying from the Alabama angle was the composure of Bryce Young. I think when a guy starts his first game, you're just looking for him not to be a deer in the headlights, right? For him to show that the moment is not too big for him. And sometimes, accuracy and things like that are just kind of second level to that, where it's just, does he look like he belongs there? Is he comfortable? And he certainly did. I was very impressed with his ability to move around behind the line of scrimmage and keep his eyes focused downfield. Sure, there were a couple of times that he probably should have run, taken a first down when it was given to him, but I think the fact that he has that comfort behind the line and he wants to throw and doesn't seem to be rattled by a pass rush, that was a really good sign.
If you're just tuning into the show here on a Wednesday, we're joined on the phone lines by Brad Edwards, former ESPN analyst and author of the book Dynasty, the Bama Dynasty, where he breaks it down by the numbers. He's joined us here on the In My Own Words hotline. So, Brad, keeping it with Bryce Young, was there a moment in the game that you saw that just had you go, he's ready, like he's the real deal? Like, it was great, it was awesome seeing what Mac Jones did, but Bryce Young, he is the real deal. Was there a specific moment in the Miami game from him that just really caught your attention?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was first or second quarter. It was definitely first half. There was a play where he scrambled a little bit to his left, got out of the pocket, and he was under pressure, and he stepped up and fired in between a couple of defenders, hit his receiver. And I think that was when I knew, okay, that this guy, has the ability to step up in those situations, not be rattled, but in a different way than Mac Jones. Mac was so good at just taking one step here, one step there, whether it was forward or to the side, to just buy himself that extra half second. Bryce can buy himself another second or two by rolling. But the ability to be on the move, either to his left or to his right, and still throw accurately, I think it shows not only what kind of quarterback he is, but the ways that this offense has a chance to be very different from last year's. I mean, a lot of it is still going to be the same, but this quarterback has a different skill set, which is going to allow them to do some different things that we haven't seen in quite a while, if ever, at Alabama.
Now, Brad, you mentioned the defense also, and this was an Alabama defense that prior to this season, they have heard all the conversation of you have not met the standard. You have not held up your end of the bargain in terms of the guys that came before you. And prior to the season, you go to SEC Media Days, the first 5 or 6 questions directed to Fidarian Mathis were, hey, big man, is the defense good? Big man, what about the defense? Big man, are y'all going to be elite on defense? Just watching that group fly to the football and show kind of those elements that the groups in 2009, 2012, and prior groups under Saban before the 2018 season. Just talk about the defense a bit more and what you saw from them getting pressure consistently, most importantly, just flying to the football.
Yeah, and the fact that it was coming from many directions, I think, was important. That it's for all the hype about Will Anderson and obviously, terrible injury to Chris Allen. We hate to see that, and hope that he gets better. Whether there's any chance of him coming back very late in the year, who knows? But obviously, not what anybody wanted to see in Week 1. But they're guys who can step up. But for all the conversation about the guys on the edges and their ability to put pressure on quarterbacks, it can't be just them if you're going to be great. In order, especially now, in order to keep Will from being double teamed, you got to have guys both on the other side and on the inside. They're going to be able to create pressure, and you not only saw it across the defensive front, you saw it from the linebackers. Obviously they'll send some DBs through every now and then, and they just have so many guys that seem to be important pieces in what they're doing, and guys who have skill sets where they're able to do different things. I loved what I saw from To'o, just being able to run sideline to sideline and just kind of keep everybody together. And it was a great first performance. Obviously there were some moments in the second half where they started to allow some yards, and of course you always want to see them close better, but realistically, when you get a big lead like that, it is a little bit harder to keep that intensity as much as you'd like to see it not be the case. But all in all, I think there were many things to get excited about with that defense, and obviously the depth in the secondary is another one. We haven't really talked about the secondary yet, but I think really all three levels of that defense, they're so deep, and that's why an injury like there was to Allen, for a lot of teams, that is absolutely devastating. For Alabama, they have so many guys with ability at that position that there's a possibility. I'm not going to say that they're not going to miss a beat, but there's a possibility that they might not, because they have potential answers, whereas many other teams wouldn't.
He is Brad Edwards, ladies and gentlemen. Join us here on the In My Own Words Hotline on a Wednesday, talking Crimson Tide football in the Week 1 performance against Miami. Edwards, former ESPN analyst, current author of the book Dynasty, the Bama Dynasty by the Numbers. As he's breaking down the Dynasty by the numbers, check out that book right there. Awesome read. Brad, appreciate you coming on to spend some time with us to talk Crimson Tide football. My brother, you take care of yourself. Stay safe. Be good, man.
All right, you too, Stephen. Talk to you later.
Absolutely. Brad Edwards, former ESPN analyst, author of Dynasty, the Bama Dynasty, breaking it down by the numbers. Great conversation with him talking Crimson Tide football. We take a break right now, but when we get back, you know what time it is, baby. We go back to you, the Alabama fans. We take your calls, your thoughts, your chats, your questions. Got a conversation with you guys right after this.
Don't let down. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit weownthefourthquarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We have moved back in, baby. Back in from the break of a number one forum for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Wednesday hump day. And before we go to the phone lines to take your calls, call segment brought to you by the Blue Ridge Gang. Got a couple of super chats. And McConaughey, oh my goodness, that Benjamin Franklin, that 100 piece has walked into the super chats. Appreciate the love there from McConaughey and Jimmy Clay. Put the fire on the man. He hot. Another $25 from Jimmy Clay. Appreciate the love from everybody on the show, making us your show here on YouTube. But as we're back in here from the break to the call segment, 205-448-1358. Number to call in and let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. We grab a call right here. You're live on the show. It's popping. What's happening? What's going on? How you feeling? State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, Stephen M., this is Jalen Prince. It was good seeing you in Atlanta the other day.
It was awesome seeing you, my man. It was really cool. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. You know, allergies kicking in. You know, allergies been going around, but overall, I've been feeling good. The thing I want to talk about is every time Alabama goes against some of these teams that's either with the low-ranking mid-majors in the FBS or going against teams in the FCS, I'm from a small town in southeast Georgia called Mercer, Georgia. It's 20 minutes away from Statesboro, Georgia, where Georgia Southern is from. Every time like Alabama goes against a team like that, I always go back to the press conference and the rant that he had about Georgia Southern about 5 years ago. Absolutely. And when he made that rant, it always hit me to my heart because that's my home. I've been a Bama fan since 8th grade. I've been part of Georgia Southern my entire life. So when it hit home, it always came back to the point where Statesboro, Georgia Southern, we made merchandise, but we made merchandise about that whole segment. But to get to the topic, I know a bit of Mercer. They run the wishbone, and when Coach Saban or other people would say you're about to go against a team that runs a very unique offense, it's very true, and it's nothing that you take lightly. So as much as I want to look ahead to next week against the Florida Gators, I can't. I know we're gonna beat Mercer. There's no doubt in my mind. But my question to you is, what do you want to see from this team going against Mercer? What are some of the little things that you want to see against the team going against Mercer?
Well, the main thing is playing assignment football, right? Because they run the wishbone. They run a three-back system. There's a lot going on back there. So I want to see assignment football from the linebackers. Christian Harris, Henry To'o, Will Anderson, Drew Sanders, hit gaps. Get pressure, get pressure, win your one-on-one battles, penetrate that line, and whoever takes the quarterback, take the quarterback. Whoever's got the pitch man, take that pitch man. Do not lose sight on what your assignment is. That's the main thing. Because I go back to 2011 where Georgia Southern ran for over 300 yards and scored 21 points, and that was a Bama defense that had Donta Hightower, Courtney Upshaw, Mark Barron, Dre Kirkpatrick. A lot of first-round picks were on that defense, and they gave up a lot against Georgia Southern despite the 48-21 win. So what I want to see from this defense, play assignment football, hit your gaps. But appreciate that call right there. Really good point when talking about Mercer. We take our next call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How you feeling? State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, Stephen. This is John Brown calling from Alabama, Birmingham. And,
all right, John. How you feeling?
Feeling good. How are you?
I can't complain, man. I cannot complain at all.
All right, so Alabama has the support behind them. Most, if not all, the Bryant News games are going to be almost sold out this season. So, do you think any team in the league proposes a threat to Bama, or do you think Bama's threat is itself, kind of like when they lost to an injury?
Let's see here. Anybody in the SEC a threat to Bama? I would still say That Ole Miss game on October 2nd is a game to circle. I think Bama still gets that game, but welcoming in Lane Kiffin, who was the offensive coordinator 2014-16, like Pete Golding's got to be on his post calling this defense against Lane Kiffin in that offense. So keep October 2nd schedule. But appreciate that call coming from John out of Birmingham. We take our next call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How you feeling? State your name and where you calling from. State your name, where you calling from. How you feeling, caller? We lost that caller there. We go to this caller right here. How you feeling? What's going on? You are live on the show. State your name and where you calling from.
Charles from Demopolis.
We got Charles from D-Mop in here. Charles, what's happening?
Nothing.
How you feeling this week, Charles? How you feeling?
Alabama's gonna have a hard time with Mercer.
Alabama shouldn't have a hard time with Mercer, but that wishbone, it's a difficult offense. If Bama fits the gaps with the linebackers, defensive line, get the push that they got against Miami, and even kind of have the corners and the DBs play up a little bit some also, because you're not going to see much passing. Bama handles assignment football, Charles. Bama will be fine. Bama does assignment football. Bama will be okay. But as always, got to go with my man Charles from D-Mob calling in, giving that concern, giving that thought there to Alabama. But we take our next call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on a Wednesday? How you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's up, Steven? It's your boy, Senator Hines, a.k.a. Coach Smoot from Phoenix
What's
City,
going
Alabama,
on, big
brother.
dude? What's going on?
Man, nothing much, man. Just got done killing it at the gym and had to come in and catch my family. Man, Steven, before I go on, I just want to give a shout-out to John and Justin. That game day live chat party, man, that thing is so lit, man. It was so awesome. That was a new experience that you guys definitely have to continue to push. And I know I was joking around Saturday, but I got a lot of messages after the game for people that tuned in, and they was like, man, that would be cool if they had guests, man. So like that would be something to possibly consider, man. Like having a live fan, live guest come up there and sit in on the game day chat on the live show, man. I feel like that'll be some good content for you guys. But to get to our squad, man, Miami game, no, I don't have nothing to say, Steven. Everything that I expected to happen happened. Even with the missed assignments in the second half, people got to remember this is the first game of the season. And our defense, the team looks so polished, Steven. I mean, I haven't seen an Alabama team focus like that from first snap to the end of the game. And then for Bryce Young doesn't have to be a loud leader on this team, and that's what's going to help this team. There's enough big dogs that talk, that's going to yell and do all that other stuff. Bryce just has to stay composed and let his gameplay do the talking for him, and he did that. And a lot of people talking about he should have ran this. I was one of those people he should have ran. For a quarterback starting his first game on a major scene like that, to want to like the first caller said, the sports writer said, for him to want to sit in the pocket or to want to stand back there and trust and has that feeling that he can trust his line and to want to do that at this stage of the season, that's just going to help our receivers grow better. We already said that at the beginning of the season. We're going to have to watch the O-line grow, and we're going to see what kind of continuity Bryce has with the receiver core. And honestly, Steven, I think that receiving core, we about to have a deep rotation this year. So we might not have a 1,000-yard receiver this year because of how deep we're going to be rotating those guys. And then for this week coming up against Mercer, I really just want to see dominance in the trenches. Being able to get a tight 7-man front, allowing our strong safety or our star whenever they in to walk in and hold down the edges. And like you said, assignment football, if we can get a 6 to 7-man rotation on that D-line consistently, 2-3 plays, keeping fresh legs, keeping them from cutting us and causing injuries, we can. I see great things past Mercer for this team, And they're just being able to adjust to each assignment. The ability to do that is really what's going to carry this team. So, yeah, man, I just – and then all your takes on the game, man. Steven, John was joking, but you like the Alabama encyclopedia, bro, when it comes to Alabama football, bro. Like, I was like, man, this dude be having the takes, man. But I appreciate the call, man. I see the call queue is booming tonight, man. I appreciate you taking my call, bro, for real. And like I said, keep doing what you guys doing. Blue Wrench Gang, I see y'all in the chat, man. All love. I missed you guys Monday, but I'm not going to miss no more shows, y'all. Y'all be easy. Love y'all. Roll Tide.
Appreciate the call from my man Senator here on a Wednesday, helping us out on the show. We go to a quick topic right here, and this is on Mac Jones. Mac Jones, who has won the starting quarterback job for New England. He will start week 1, taking on Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. But this is Drew Brees was on an NBC sports conference call, and the topic was on Mac Jones. And Drew Brees said when he watched the NFL draft, the moment Mac came off the board at number 15, the future NFL first ballot Hall of Famer said, this is the steal of the draft. Drew Brees called Mac Jones the steal of the draft. Then he came back and said, Mac Jones will be the most impactful rookie quarterback from this class. He sees a lot of big things from Mac year 1 for the New England Patriots. So for an individual that has won numerous NFL awards, 13-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL Offensive Player of the Year, so many passing stats, Super Bowl champion in 2009 with the Saints, Super Bowl MVP, and like I mentioned, future first ballot Hall of Famer. For a guy like Drew Brees that played 20 years in the league to say not only was Mac the steal of the draft, but he'll also be the most impactful rookie quarterback. Folks, get ready, get ready, get ready. That's all I got to tell you. Guys, shout out Jimmy Clay again, that $19 donation helping us out here on the show. The man, Jimmy Clay. We go to a break right now on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we'll get into some guys offensively and defensively that need to get some reps, that need to get some work in against Mercer before we get into the SEC part of the Bama schedule. We'll talk about that after this.
Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
If you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
Back in, folks. We are back in, rocking and rolling from the break of a number 1 form for Bama. Football news in my own words, and yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Wednesday hump day. Happy to have every last one of you calling in, writing in, tweeting in, texting in, super chatting in. You guys have been incredible today on a Wednesday. Also, big thanks to Brad Edwards, former ESPN analyst and author of the book, The Dynasty, the Bama Dynasty, breaking it down by the numbers. Edwards was outstanding, feeding us some insight here on the show. But before we tidy up loose ends here, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That's TDAwear.com. So all of you fans still overjoyed with the Crimson Tide's national championship, we want you to check out our championship collection merch. Now this means you grab you an 18 of them things, folk. Hoodie, T-shirt or sweatshirt, as well as our Got 18 We Do shirts. Designs that feature all 18 championship years on the back. You head on over to TDAwear.com. Do it right now. TDAwear.com. You go over Championship Collections merch tab, and you get you that gear today, right now, showing that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. But before the final topic, we got super chats right now that we got to get to. So we'll get to those right now as we speak here. Super chats. Jimmy Clay again with a $9 donation. He also writes in Bryce Young, exclamation point. Well, 2 exclamation points. So Bryce Young really got Jimmy Clay's attention. We got Willie351 with that 777 helping us out here on the show. Appreciate that, Willie351. And then we got Senator Coach Smook, the Pimp Man Hines, with that $5 donation helping us out on the show. And I think that $300, is that $300 goal? Yes, it is. Also, once Jay Scott, that $20 donation helping us out here on the show. So I think also Gucci Todd has come through here with that $10. Man, y'all pouring the money in. So appreciate Gucci Todd, Senator, Willie351, everybody pitching in, everybody making this your show, helping us out here, showing that love and support. But beginning now with the game against Mercer, and like one of our recent callers mentioned, this is a game where number one, you want no injuries because you're playing against a wishbone team, an option team, a very unique offense. They're going to be cutting guys, trying to win up front. So, number one, you want everybody healthy from the start of the game to the end of the game, right? That's number one. I think number two, you want to play assignment football both ways. Defensively playing assignment football, offensively taking care of business early and often. But I think the third thing would be getting some of these younger players some reps. Getting some of these younger players worked in, because quite naturally, you're going to have the starters play a couple of series as to the whole first quarter, and then after that, you want to get the young guys, and you want to get the sophomores in, the freshmen in, get some of these younger players acclimated, get some of these young guys reps, get some of these young cats opportunities, because you're going to need those guys when we get into the SEC meat of the schedule. So starting this off offensively, just some young guys that, U.S. fans want to see, and I myself personally want to see get some action here against Mercer. Number one, J.C. Latham. We need to see J.C. Latham on the offensive line, primarily at right tackle. Chris Owens, good dude. Chris Owens, good kid. But kind of want to see J.C. Latham now. 6'6", 325 pounds. We've seen a lot of freshmen get opportunities on the offensive line, whether it was Andre Smith, Cyrus Quandrell, Jonah Williams, Jedrick Wills, Evan Neal, Cam Robinson. The list goes on. We have seen a lot of freshmen get opportunities starting there on the offensive line. So want to see J.C. Latham get some opportunities here at right tackle against Mercer. So from the offensive line to the running back room, I want to see more of Trey Sanders. After that rushing touchdown against Miami, and that was a feel-good moment after all he had been through, and you didn't quite know whether he would be back to himself or not. And for him to go out there in the third quarter against Miami, he ran away out throughout the game, but for him to go out there in the third quarter get that 20-yard rushing touchdown, have that huge weight lifted off of his shoulders. His teammates celebrated with him, but training staff, the medical staff, the coaching staff, everybody celebrated with Trey. And then Coach Saban couldn't stop talking about it in the pressers following the game. So that touchdown gave Sanders a lot of confidence. That touchdown had Sanders thinking, I can do it again. I can run again. I can be productive again. I can be big time for this team and helping this team. So I want to see more of Trey Sanders get out there more, get more opportunities, carry the ball, and build off of his confidence coming off the Miami game. When you go to the wide receiver room, want to see the young guys. Want to see JoJo Earl, Christian Leary, and Ajayi Hall get more opportunities also. JoJo Earl had a couple of catches against Miami for 25 yards, but I want to see him more in that punt return aspect, right? I mean, this is no offense to Slade Bolden, dependable receiver, but when you have guys in the past like Henry Ruggs, like Jerry Jeudy, like Devontae Smith, like Jalen Waddle, guys that had that pure breakaway speed that could make a play at the drop of a hat, you guys fell in love with that as fans, and you want to see more of that as fans. So want to see JoJo Earl more in the punt return aspect, but also want to see JoJo Earl in that slot receiver role against Mercer, getting more opportunities. Same thing for Christian Leary. Want to see Christian Leary out there more in at that slot receiver role, or getting worked in there offensively, because he's got wheels. He's a burner. He's a big-time playmaker. Christian Leary here, number 12, as you're watching him on screen in the video, catching passes right there. So want to see more of Christian Leary. I also want to see more of Ajayi Hall in this game, because Hall, who switched his number from 17 to 84, he had a monster spring game. 4 catches for 72 yards. I mean, you guys were like, oh my gosh, he's big, he's rangy, he's a freak of nature, he's physical. Reminds me of Julio Jones almost out there. Want to see him more on the field. I know he's sort of disappeared since the spring game, but you definitely want to see Hall getting in some work, some opportunity there against Mercer. And last but not least, the quarterbacks, Paul Tyson, Jalen Milroe, both of those guys, get both of those guys some work. I mean, you want to play Bryce Young first quarter, couple of series, is get him going. But once you feel like Young has done enough, pull him out the game. Let's see Paul Tyson. Let's get his confidence going. Let's see Jalen Milroe. Let's get his confidence going. Let's see what these two guys can do. Throwing the football, whipping at the targets in space, guiding guys with accurate passes, seeing these guys make smart decisions with the football. Let's see what these two cats can do on the field, because like I mentioned, as you get into SEC play, you want to have as many guys with as many ample reps as you possibly can. So definitely want to see what Milroe and Paul Tyson can do. Hopefully they can get some work in here against Mercer. Now, as we flip this now to the defense, want to see Kool-Aid McKinstry. Didn't really see him much at all, if any, against Miami. And I know there was a comment in the chat saying, is Kool-Aid hurt? Kool-Aid's not hurt, just, Saban went more so with the starters for the majority of that matchup against the Hurricanes. So want to see more of Kool-Aid. Want to see Kool-Aid, on the field. He such a great spring, great summer, strong fall camp. Want to see him on the field, get him some work in, get him some reps, get him some opportunities here in this non-conference matchup. Behind McKinstry, you look at some of these young linebackers, if you will. Want to see some of Deontay Lawson. Want to see some of Kendrick Blackshear. Now, Blackshear, he ended the Miami game with a tackle. So he got his first career tackle against Miami. But definitely want to see more Blackshear. Get him worked in there. Want to see some Deontay Lawson. Get him worked in there. I mean, bodying like Rolando McClain. Mind like C.J. Mosley. Get the kid from Mobile acclimated in there. And then, Dallas Turner, getting him in there as he is being developed in that pass rusher type of role. But this is a matchup where you want to have your starters, get them in, see what they do, quickly get them out, keep them healthy, get the young players in, get them some reps, get them some opportunities so that they have confidence to grow off of as we venture into the SEC slate here. But as always, Tide fans, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. If you got the Android phone. For your audio needs here, listening needs, we got you covered. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got more Super Chats. Folks, Jimmy Clay is the man. Jimmy Clay, $50 donation. Then he came back with a $25 donation. And then sandwiched in between Jimmy Clay is Spencer Reveley with that $5 donation. I mean, give yourselves a hand, Bama fans. Y'all have been great. I mean, y'all have been awesome. Y'all have been unfreaking believable. Gucci tied a $5 donation. I mean, holy cow. Is that $400? Wow. Love you guys. It's because of you that I enjoy doing what I do. It's because of you that I enjoy bringing Alabama football. I know at times y'all may say, Steven, you're getting way too excited, but this is a passion of mine, and it's you guys that help drive the passion. So appreciate all of you for what you do and continue to do what you do in making us your show here. As always, Tide fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. Also, if you're trying to get the fresh edition, print edition of TDA, the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member, a subscriber today. That link in the description as well. If you're also trying to get that four-finger bling necklace, four-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at weownthefourthquarter.com. That link in the description as well. But until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, school in. Get that work done. But continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. You get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. You know what it is, folks. I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. You've been listening to In My Own Words.